traffic, not south, but you will be delayed as you leave Buckhead going north towards Sandy Springs toward 285. So just an early heads up for you if you have any lunch plans or anything like that early. My real-time speed tracker has you moving at only 14 miles per hour on 400. Also want to take you to the west side of town. We're seeing some delays on I-20 eastbound around Thornton Road as you get closer to Six Flags. So this is a live look at I-20 and Thornton Road as we pop up a trip time here. Lithia Springs, your normal trip time from Thornton Road to 285 is about 5 or 6 minutes. Right now we're looking at 15 minutes, so you were also a little bit delayed, and you can see those vehicles are barely moving there, so we'll pop a real-time speed tracker up there for you, and you're also seeing your speeds at only about 15 miles per hour. As we zoom out on the pinpoint traffic map, the east side of town is looking okay. Some small delays as you leave Lithonia this morning. Otherwise, everybody's looking good. There's a new crash that just popped up there on I-75 in northwest Atlanta, so we'll check that out for you. In addition to that, coming up at 9, we'll talk about some weekend closures in Cobb and Cherokee counties. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic on CBS 46 News at 9.
Heavy rain arrives tonight. I'm pinpointing the timing of strong storms where you live coming up.
A bridge reopening to traffic after flames erupt from underneath it.
I just can't believe my eyes because I see the tail end of a truck. I see part of a boat.
A suspected drunk driver plows into a home in the middle of the night, leaving people inside shocked.
And I'm Brooks Baptiste. We're live at the Chick-Fil-A Dwarf house here in Hateville. And I got to tell you, seeing a lot of smiling faces. We'll take you on the inside in just a few.
This is CBS 46 News.
Man, it looks like a party there.
Yeah, man.
And for the people waiting outside, it's really not all that uncomfortable. Well, at all. I suppose if you don't mind a little mist. I just stepped outside. A little bit of mistiness. It is Thursday, February 17th. 2022. I'm Rob Hughes.
Hey, good morning. I'm Grevira. Yeah, that mist may be an indication of some more rain that's to come later today. Yeah. Ella's here with a look at what you need to know because right now it feels pretty good.
It does. It feels amazing outside. It doesn't look great though. I pulled up 2 different cameras across our region so you can see what it's going to look like as you step out the door this morning. It's pretty cloudy up there, Lake Lanier, pretty gloomy over Centennial Olympic Park as well. We are seeing some reduced visibility really inside of the city limits. Visibility down to about a mile, so not thick fog, but it is going to just make it for a pretty gloomy morning. Here's the thing, it's going to feel amazing outside today, and we're not going to get much rain through the day, so you don't need the umbrella or the winter coat as you step out the door. All you need is the light jacket this morning. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures are already pushing 60 degrees at this hour, and we will hit 70 this afternoon, in addition to the warmth. It will be very windy as well. Here's a snapshot of what's headed our way. A major storm system ramping up across the United States. It reaches us after sunset tonight. We'll see heavy rain and a very small chance for an isolated storm. You can see the storm risk is the greatest to our west, a level 3 out of 5 risk across parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. Here, though, we're under only a level 1 risk for severe weather. What that means is just an isolated strong storm is possible. I'll have much more on the timing where you live and how the system will impact your weekend coming up in just a bit. But if you do need to get on the roads this morning, we got to check in with Rodney. We are seeing some fog across the area. How's that affecting things, Rod?
Well, first of all, there's some good and bad news. The good news is that the delays I was talking about on 400 northbound around Lenox Road have cleared now. So if you're taking 400 northbound, it looks like this is starting to improve as you leave Buckhead, headed north towards Sandy Springs. The bad news is that on the west side of town, we're still seeing delays on I-20 around Thornton Road. So again, Lithia Springs from Thornton Road to 285, normally it's about 5 or 6 minutes. That's expanded your trip time to almost 20 minutes. Give yourself some extra time in Lithia Springs and Douglasville. We'll talk about those weekend closures in Cobb County that's coming up with more weather and traffic soon. But for now, back to you.
Thank you, Rodney. Developing right now, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a fire that shut down a major bridge in Buckhead.
It happened on Piedmont Road late last night. Our Rebecca Schramm is live near the bridge this morning that crosses Peachtree Creek. Rebecca, you've gotten a better vantage point now that it's daylight.
Yeah, Robin Grevira, now that we can see, it's clear people spend a lot of time under this bridge. Take a look, you can see for yourself. We're seeing discarded grocery carts there. There's a couple of patio umbrellas. And look way up in the corner near the roadbed. That is where we can see some soot and ashes. We can smell the smoke down here too. So it looks like this was where that late night fire originated. Take a look. This is video that circulated from the ATL Scoop Twitter page. Atlanta Fire and Rescue arrived last night and they got the fire under control. No injuries were reported. Just to be on the safe side though, the Department of Transportation sent a crew out here and they tested the integrity of the bridge and found that it is structurally sound. So that's when they reopened the bridge to traffic in both directions. Here's why people get so panicked about bridge fires. A few months ago, a fire under a bridge on Cheshire Bridge Road was so intense, they had to tear that bridge down. It's still in the process of being rebuilt. And then, of course, everybody remembers the I-85 bridge collapse 5 years ago that really paralyzed the city. Both of those fires were determined to have started in homeless camps underneath those bridges. Taking another live look, we expect investigators will come back to the scene today to get a better look as they try to pinpoint what caused the fire. Again, the bridge is open, so no impact right now on traffic. Live in Buckhead, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Yeah, certainly a relief for a lot of people. Rebecca, thanks for that vantage point this morning. Developing right now, police are trying to find the person who shot the driver of an 18-wheeler and then took off. It happened yesterday afternoon on 75 in Cobb County, just north of Wade Green Road. The Cobb County Police Department says the gunman shot the driver of that tractor trailer and then sped off northbound. They don't know who the suspect is, or what sort of car they were driving, or where they might be now. The victim was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. Listen, if you were on the interstate about that same time and you saw something, Cobb County Police would certainly like you to give them a call.
New this morning, police are looking for a man they say crashed into a home, a boat, and parked cars along Clay Road. Authorities say they believe a driver under the influence lost control near the home and crashed into a yard there. We spoke with the homeowner afterwards.
Well, we were sleeping, and just so happened my mom needed to get up and go to the restroom. And I heard 2 loud explosions, so I looked out the back. I didn't see anything. And so I'm trying to get her back in bed, and I'm going to go get her some water. I go to the kitchen and look out the window, and I just can't believe my eyes because I see the tail end of a truck. I see part of a boat, and I mean, he's torn up 2 vehicles, his vehicle, and a boat. And yeah, the rest is history.
Thankfully, the people inside the home are okay. After the crash, she said she smelled gas and called 911. Thankfully, a fire did not start. 9:06 this morning, happening today, the iconic Chick-Fil-A Dwarf House restaurant is back open for business.
Yeah, it actually shut down just maybe a little less than a year ago. It's now refiring up those grills. We sent Brooks Baptiste out there to check it out. Looks like it was quite busy as people were waiting to get in.
Okay, look guys, so I've got to be honest with you. I'm on the inside now and it's kind of quiet in here, but it's quiet only because there's a full-blown grand opening ceremony happening on the outside right now. So that means we get the whole place to ourselves. Let me just show you this, just a piece of the lobby that we're seeing right now. And as you can see, the bricks, they always tell a story, right? 11,000 of those are actually from the original location. Now, you guys know that this has been 10 years in the making, this Dwarf house, and it's just so much detail around here. I probably need like another 30 minutes to actually go into detail about all of those good things. It's an $18 million investment, but some of the things I thought were pretty cool, talking about 1,000 pounds of waffle fries a day. And what always shocks me about a place like, not just Chick-fil-A, but the Dwarf house, I should say, you come to Chick-fil-A to eat chicken, right? Well, here there are many other things that are offered. So not just your chicken sandwiches, and we've actually can come on over here a little bit. It's where we can just show you a little bit on the inside. And this is where all of the great things are happening. So they've got the gear over there. They've got the little red doors. They've got all types of things around here. We're going to get a chance to go on the inside in just a bit, really on the inside, and show you a little bit more. They may even let us go over there to the counter, but we'll have to see. So I'm gonna send things back on the inside to you guys, but just a great experience out here so far. Lots of smiling faces, and folks are just saying they're glad to see the Dwarf house is back. It's been gone for some months, but now the grand opening is back. Back to you guys.
It is their pleasure, Brooks, as it always is. Renovations look great. Look forward to checking back in with you. It's 9:08 this morning. Russian troops leaving an area near Ukraine's border.
This morning, the Biden administration says it is skeptical about Russia saying an invasion won't happen.
Plus, it's the story we told you about. A Wisconsin airport reunites a boy with its long-lost teddy bear after a viral social media post.
And this is what's headed our way this afternoon, a major storm system ramping up. I have details on exactly when you will see storms and how it will impact your weekend after the break.
U.S. officials had feared yesterday might be the day Russia was planning to invade Ukraine, but the day came and went without any violence. Russia says it is not planning an invasion, but the Biden administration is skeptical of those claims. CBS's Laura Podesta has the details.
The Kremlin says these are videos of Russian troops leaving an area near Ukraine's border. There's, what Russia says, and there's what Russia does.
But U.S. officials have concluded that Russia recently added as many as 7,000 troops to the border. New satellite images show heightened military activity.
And they are moving, concerningly, into fighting positions.
State Department spokesman Ned Price says Russia may use false claims as a pretext for an invasion, which officials believe could come as soon as this weekend.
Russia relies on confusion. Russia relies on obfuscation. Russia relies on misinformation and disinformation to cover its tracks.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris leaves Washington for Europe, where she'll take part in the Munich Security Conference and show support for NATO allies and Ukraine. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Harris will meet Ukrainian President on Saturday.
The federal hate crimes trial for the three men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery continues. An FBI analyst read shocking new evidence yesterday, including messages that exposed racial slurs and threats against black people. Agents say Travis McMichael sent messages about killing black people with a shotgun. In one of those, he asked people to run over Black Lives Matter protesters with their cars. Now, as for William Roddy Bryan, who's a neighbor of the McMichaels, he reportedly referred to black people with the N-word and assumed they were behind local crimes being committed in their community.
I ain't really shocked because I already know all that hate was in them three men. But it's just really a shame that they got that much hate in them for African American people.
The FBI analyst said the agency wasn't able to access Greg McMichael's phone because it was encrypted. It's been 6 months now since the death of a teen athlete crushed by a malfunctioning elevator, and now there's a new bill in the works to add stiffer penalties for property owners who miss elevator inspections. Jamarcus McFarland died at 444 Highland Housing last year. CBS 46 found students, including McFarland, had been complaining about the elevator and other conditions at that property. Since the incident, Georgia has opened an investigation and also fined the complex. And now one state representative is pushing for a new bill to raise fines.
We want to fix this problem, but it is too late for Jamarcus McFarland. To be quite honest, it's too late for all of his friends who had to go through the trauma of watching their friend die in front of their eyes. But we hopefully can learn from this episode.
The bill is expected to be called on possibly next week and then voted on.
A Texas boy has been reunited with his long-lost teddy bear in Wisconsin. The stuffed animal was left behind after Thanksgiving at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. 5-year-old Ezekiel was tossing the teddy bear around and it got stuck in the rafters. Someone found the teddy bear in January. The airport used social media to try to track down the owner, and it went viral. Days later, word reached the family who had lost the toy. Southwest Airlines flew the family from Dallas to Wisconsin, and on Tuesday, he got his special teddy to take back home.
He's had this bear since day one and slept with it every night, so it has a huge sentimental value to him. And like I said, when we got back home, he literally cried the entire flight home and got back and was still, pretty upset about it. So it's really, really special to him.
Now, part of the reason the posts originally went viral was due to the heart on the chest of the bear. It can signify a child with heart issues. Now, Ezekiel is a healthy young boy who was gifted the bear at birth. His family is happy. Their story was able to raise awareness, though, for those who are not as fortunate.
Aw, golly, man, I tell you what, your babies are still pretty young, but they will become attached to those toys. They will not want to give them up, even when you're ready to say, the bear needs to go on to somebody else.
Yeah, there's sentimental value with a lot of different things. And
That's
that can
so
be
good.
tough.
Yeah,
A lot of adults experience that.
Yeah, I still have Major Bear, which is a bear. I kissed his nose so many times, all the little feathers are off of his nose.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. It's going to be a day where you probably want to snuggle up because look at it outside. It's nasty. Live look at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. It's gloomy, but at least it's not cold. Temperatures all across Metro are in the mid to upper 50s, and we will hit the 70-degree mark this afternoon. You're probably going to intercept some mist on your way out the door, but there's no real rain outside of a few showers now working their way down towards LaGrange and Heard County. So we may see an isolated shower through the day, but the wind will pick up today. Those clouds will start to lift, and we'll actually see pretty mild, comfortable conditions through the afternoon. Warm and windy at 4 p.m. Highs will be in the low to mid 70s. Heavy rain arrives after sunset tonight. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. 7 p.m. Heavy rain from Ellijay to Rome. As this line works its way into Metro Atlanta, it's going to lose its strength. So as you can see, 10 p.m., it's very linear. What that indicates to me is that the risk for severe weather with this system is very, very low. We'll only get a few hours of rain, which is actually going to be moving out by around 2 a.m. And by the time you head to work tomorrow, skies are already clearing with sunshine returning and cold air working its way in. So once again, the storm risk is very low. Here's what to expect. Almost a 0% chance, not quite zero, but about a 2% chance for a tornado today. The wind, we could definitely see some gusty winds through the day and tonight, but I don't think we're going to see severe winds, 60 miles per hour. We're really not going to see any lightning at all, maybe a rumble of thunder. And heavy rain, there's a moderate risk for heavy rain, but flash flood risk is going to be low with this system just because it has been so dry this week. Here's the main impact this is going to have. It's going to drop in really cold air. Tomorrow, breeze will be coming out of the north. Sunshine returns through the day, but highs barely make it to 50 degrees. It's going to be cold as we head into the weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday mornings will be below freezing. The good news is we will start a warming trend, and we're talking highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. So comfortable, really mild, spring-like feel through the weekend. Take advantage of it, though, because after a couple of dry days here, we're going to switch into a much wetter pattern next week. And through the week, we're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain. The majority of the heaviest rain right now looks like it will be just to the north of Georgia, but this could shift south. And if it does, we'll have a high risk of flash flooding next week. So you got to take advantage of the sunshine while it lasts. Next week looks warm and wet. Roddy?
Okay, Ella, so Rob mentioned that he saw some mist when he stepped outdoors. You can actually see some of that on this traffic camera in Cobb County. This is I-75 near Windy Hills. Just a heads up, make sure and give yourself a little extra time if you do have to get on the road. So there's also a small crash in that area, so you may have to slow down a little bit as you leave Marietta or Smyrna headed southbound on 75. All right, speaking of Cobb County, so this weekend, the express lanes of the northwest quarter will be closed the entire weekend. So a heads up if you typically take those express lanes. The closure will happen starting Friday at 11 o'clock at night, and that'll continue through Monday morning at 4 a.m. And then after 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday, they'll open back up in the south direction as they normally do. But again, that's the northwest quarter express lanes, including I-75 and 575 in Cobb and Cherokee counties. They'll close this weekend starting Friday night at 11. We'll keep you up to date on that. We'll also keep you up to date on what's happening right now with more weather and traffic coming up soon. But for now, back to you.
Roddy, thanks. As more businesses call employees back to the workplace, most staffers say they would prefer to keep working remotely. According to a new survey by Pew Research, some 60% of those asked want to keep working from home all or most of the time. Some said they still fear being exposed to COVID, but 3 out of 4 just prefer working from home.
And instead of leaving home to visit Disney's theme parks, you could one day live in a Disney-branded community. The Walt Disney Company announced plans to develop residential communities. Those neighborhoods would be part of Story Living by Disney. Each location is going to feature perks that include Disney cast members providing guest services and, of course, live entertainment. The company says its first community is going to be built in California, and it's going to feature a wide variety of homes, including estates, single-family homes, and even condominiums. Okay, right now at 9:20, we do have 2 breaking news stories that are just coming into CBS 46 involving Russia. One of them about diplomats in Russia, U.S. diplomats. The other one about the Russian figure skater involved in that doping scandal.
Yes, here we have an update on where she placed in the Winter Olympics in her most recent event. We'll have that just in a few minutes. Right now, it is 9:20.
A scam affecting Target shoppers across Metro Atlanta.
And it starts with a person asking you to use your phone. Find out what you need to know coming up later in the show. Plus,
I am at the General Dollar Store in Lithonia, Georgia, and I'd love to use the bathroom right now, but here's the thing. It doesn't work. It's broken, and it's been broken since November. So why isn't Dollar General fixing it, and why are they making their employees go someplace else to use the restroom? Better call Harry. That story's coming up.
Sounds like you didn't want to be heard, right? Looking for your news headlines on the go? Listen to The Feed, a daily podcast from CBS 46. 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week. CBS 46 gives you all you need to know and a little more. You can download and listen to The Feed from CBS 46 wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, if you think working with a mask is difficult, try working without a bathroom.
Okay, employees at the Lithonia Family Dollar store say they haven't had a working restroom since November. And it got one customer so upset she decided she better call Harry.
The Lithonia Family Dollar has almost everything you need. Cookies, clocks, and customers who care.
They're family. You know, we talk about everything. They're so sweet and respectable to me. They always look out for me and help me.
Barbara Thompson would like to give the employees the one thing they don't have, a working bathroom. All attempts to fix the problem have failed.
You know how we know it's not working? Because it's not even connected anymore.
Several employees tell CBS 46 they haven't had a functioning bathroom since November. They say a plumber would make a repair, but it did not last.
And I told them this: if this was your family, or if this was you, you would not allow somebody in your family to be working under these conditions.
Shelley Brown has a stomach condition that requires a bathroom, but if she or her coworkers need to go, they have to get in their cars and drive.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's safe either. You have to leave where you work. You have to go to a bathroom.
Oh my gosh, where are they gonna go? To the local QT?
Yes.
5 minutes up the street?
That's exactly where they go.
I asked them, well, we requested a porta potty, and they said they don't do that anymore.
It's not fair because I'm sure the people in the district office, the district manager and so forth, I'm sure when they need to go to the restroom, they go.
Wait a second, bathrooms are not optional. OSHA requires employers to provide all workers with sanitary and immediately available toilet facilities. A Family Dollar spokesman disputes the claim, saying the restrooms were operational but continued to have intermittent recurring issues. After we left, corporate closed the store and called a plumber. And this time, it worked. Shelley, the toilet is working again. I present to you the honorary toilet paper award from CBS 46.
Thank you, Harry, so much. If you did not get involved, we still probably would be riding around trying to find a restroom. Thank you so much.
It's another Better Call Harry case closed.
Man, I'm glad we got that sound there at the end.
I was going to say, it kind of makes you chuckle a little bit, but it is serious. You know, Harry gets things done.
Absolutely.
You know?
There's no doubt that there should be a working bathroom there. We can all agree on that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right. It's 9:27 this morning. A Good Samaritan swindled.
We're going to tell you about a new scam affecting some Target shoppers across the metro area.
Plus, spring is on the way. We talked to garden experts about how you could get your garden and houseplants ready for the spring.
And we're live outside the Dwarf house for its reopening today. Our Brooks Baptiste will be there as folks get ready to head inside. 9:30 on your Thursday morning as we give you a live look out at our airport. You know what? It's kind of a good news, bad news kind of day when it comes to the weather, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't have to wear your coat.
Right.
But
It's mild outside.
it's kind of weird outside, huh?
Kind of weird. Feels spring-like. And we may see some spring-like storms later today.
Right. A sign
So-
of things to come.
Hey, good morning. I'm Grevira.
And I'm Rob Hughes. We'll get it over to Ella Dorsey because she's the one who's the expert on these matters. Ella,
Kind of
what's
weird
the deal?
outside.
It's kind of weird outside. That's
Kinda
my
gross.
scientific analysis.
I can go into a little bit more depth with that, guys, but thank you. Yes, it is weird. It's misty. It's warm. It was really nice yesterday, and all of a sudden it just feels like a completely different day, and it is, but it's going to be really warm this afternoon. We're likely to cross into the low 70s. There's a low risk for a passing shower. Rob has been talking about how it's misty outside. It is misty outside, but you do not need to take the umbrella with you. This wind, it's really going to pick up through the morning hours, and by this afternoon we're going to see gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour, so we could even see some downed trees and branches through the day even before the rain arrives. You can see we are under those cloudy skies. A few showers working their way towards LaGrange right now, so we could see an isolated shower through the day, but after sunset tonight, that's when the heavy rain and storms reach us. As you can see, we are going to see some pretty strong storms across parts of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama through the afternoon, but by the time this reaches us tonight, the sun has set. What that means is we lose the energy of the day, we lose the heating in the atmosphere, and this storm will lose its strength. So it's really just going to mostly be rain as it moves through, just for a few hours, mostly while you're inside headed to bed. By the time you wake up and head out the door tomorrow, skies will already be clearing. So that rain is most likely between about 8 p.m. and midnight with drying conditions thereafter. The highest risk is for heavy rain, but we're really only going to see about 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches, so I do not expect any flash flooding. After this moves out, cold air moves in. Friday, tomorrow will be very cold. Highs barely make it to 50 degrees, but we will see rebounding temperatures back into the 70s next week. I'll have a breakdown of that weekend forecast coming up here in just a bit. First, though, we got to check in on the connector. If you are headed in Midtown, Ronnie, what's going on?
Yeah, Ella, we got a crash here that is clearing, which is good news. But if you look carefully, you can see those vehicles off to the shoulder on the connector, 7585 southbound. That's just before North Avenue. So again, if you're coming into the connector, Midtown Atlanta, you may have to slow down there just a little bit. So a heads up to you. Also, Gwinnett County, a heads up. Some small delays on I-85 southbound around Steve Reynolds. Fortunately, your traffic will improve as you get closer to 285. We'll keep you up to date on the roads, and we'll have more weather and traffic coming up a little bit later. But for now, back to you.
Rodney, thanks. We have breaking news right now. Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva has failed to medal in the Olympics after finishing 4th in the free skate event. That news comes after she failed a drug test. The 15-year-old tested positive for several substances, including a banned heart medication. Despite that failed test, she was allowed to compete, which drew the ire of many Olympic athletes. All right, we want to get over to Rob now because we're monitoring some of the other stories that are making news right now.
Yeah, Grevira Bridge on Piedmont Road. We've been talking about it all morning after it was on fire last night. That bridge near Garson Drive is reopened after the fire broke out overnight. Investigators are now trying to figure out how the fire started underneath the bridge. The Department of Transportation sent a crew out to test the integrity of the bridge and found that it is structurally sound, so that's when they reopened it to drivers in time for the morning commute. It's been 6 months since the death of a teen athlete crushed by a malfunctioning elevator. There's now a new bill in the works to add stiffer penalties for property owners who miss inspections. Jamarcus McFarland died at 444 Highland Housing last year. Since the incident, the state opened an investigation and fined the complex. Now one representative is pushing for a new bill to raise the fines. The bill is expected to be called on possibly next week, then voted on. Russia says this video shows trainloads of armored vehicles withdrawing from the Ukrainian border. But President Biden just said this hour there's a, quote, very high risk of a Russian invasion of Ukraine within the next several days, and that he has no plans to speak to Putin. And just in the last few minutes, the Associated Press is reporting Russia has expelled the deputy chief of the U.S. diplomatic mission in Moscow as tensions continue to escalate.
Now at 9:34, Black legendary musicians are making their mark in Atlanta's historic history right now as a new Black Wall of Fame is set to be unveiled to the public in less than an hour. Tori Cooper is live outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium where that ceremony is going to take place. Tori, this is a big milestone for so many entertainers.
Good morning, Grevira. What a milestone. You're exactly right. And it's going to be right here in the heart of our city, outside of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium here on the corner of Northside Drive and MLK. This is where several major musicians who have made their mark are going to have their names right here on the sidewalk for the Black Music Walk of Fame. Today's ceremony is set to honor the iconic names that we have seen in the past. Obviously, these are going to be major musicians, iconic entertainers, and influencers who have had a major impact on the Black community at large. I also had a chance to sit down with record executive pioneers Michael Malden and L.A. Reid last week to talk about all of this on the Ryan Cameron Show as part of our Black History Month series. Here's what they told us about all of this.
A platform, a sidewalk, where your name can be embedded into the history of this city forever.
It's all about passing the baton, as I said, and educating. We'll have a QR code system with the Walk of Fame. We'll be able to tie in so kids will understand the history that preceded them.
Understand the history that preceded them. And you're looking at a piece of history right now. You just saw Queen Mary J. Blige rock it at the Super Bowl last weekend. And now look, she's going to have her plaque right here, out here. She's just one of the major names that will be featured out here. And we are expecting a number of other names. I did get a sneak peek, so I'll tell you. Snoop Dogg's going to have a plaque out here. Ray Charles is going to have a plaque out here. Smokey Robinson, just to name a few. There's Michael Malden right now. Not sure if you guys have enough time, but let's hear from him. He was really the major name behind all of this. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Well, we're on live TV. It's fun. And I know this is a big day for you. So just talk a little bit about what this means.
This means everything. This is our culture. This is obviously about community, and it's really about education. Obviously, this is the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame. It's here in Atlanta, which we now view as the Black music capital of the world. So to have this here, have the partnership with Mercedes-Benz, it was an idea that we had, the Black American Music Association with the Georgia Entertainment Caucus about 3 years ago. And then we just started working on it and trying to do it, and it came to reality last June. And so this is our second induction here.
Well, congratulations. I'm excited that I got to talk to you about it last week. Now seeing it to come to life is just really amazing. So, of course, all right?
Appreciate it. Good seeing you.
All right, we'll send it back to you guys.
Oh, so casual.
I know, I love it. Live TV, going with the flow, and some of those names you mentioned, amazing, awesome. Tori, thanks a bunch. All right, we